Hi, Grandma, what are you doing?
Watching Bible documentaries. Did you know that when the world started, it was only darkness?
No, Grandma, what happened?
God said, "Let there be light." It was faint at first, a flicker in the darkness that grew and grew. It became a glowing ball that pushed the gloom aside, soft and yellow, then red, pink, and dazzling gold. When the light faded into darkness, he called it night, and that was the first day of the world.
What happened next? What happened next?
Okay, hold on. On the second day, when the light came back, God made the sky. It was soft, bright blue, and it hung over the earth like a canopy. So on the third day of the world, God drew back the waters so that solid ground appeared. The great pools of water, blue like the sky and shimmering in the light, he called seas. He called the big muddy areas of the ground land. The land was flat and bare, so God shaped it into mountains, plains, and deep valleys. Under his guiding hand, greenery covered the earth. Trees sprang from the ground, their branches reaching for the sky, growing tall with fruit. The earth had become lush and green and brimmed with plant life.
That's where all of our beautiful trees came from.
It sure is, sweetheart, but I'm not done with the story yet. Just hold your horses. So on the fourth day, God said, "Let there be signs to mark the day and night." He made the fiery sun to show the day, and the gentle moon to shine at night. During the day, the moon hid in the shadows. At night, the sun turned its glowing face away, while the moon cast its silvery beam over the land. God also brightened the night sky with millions upon millions of tiny glittering stars. He felt pleased with the beautiful world he had created. God's new world was a peaceful land filled with flowers, trees, and rushing rivers. But there were no birds to perch in the trees. There were no bees to buzz from flower to flower, nor fish to leap through the waves. The only sound were the whisper of the wind among the leaves and the waves lapping the shores.
What did God do next, Grandma?
Well, on the fifth day, God filled the waters with living creatures. He made whales that sent great plumes of spray high into the sky, and dolphins that leaped playfully in and out of the waves. He made jellyfish that shimmered like moonlight, shellfish that sparkled like precious stones, and tiny crabs that waved their claws on the golden sands. Then God said, "Let there be creatures of the air that will fill the sky with life." There began a great fluttering of feathers and flapping of wings, and a cloud of birds and insects of all shapes and sizes rose into the sky. Their happy song filled God's ears, and he blessed them. On the sixth day of the world, God said, "Now let there be creatures of the land." And the earth began to shake with the thunder of 1,000 feet. The world hummed with voices large and small, jostling to the herd. Lions prowled beside mighty elephants and rhinos. Monkeys swung through the trees, cackling to each other, and bears lumbered through the undergrowth. Fierce animals paced side by side with the gentlest of God's creatures. Every one from the tiny shrews to the tall giraffes was looking for a new home. Some liked the cool of the snowy mountains, and some preferred the heat of the rainforest. Snakes slithered into the jungles, crocodiles hid in rivers, and squirrels climbed tall trees. The world pulsed with life. God looked around and was happy with what he saw, but something was missing.
What can he be missing? He made everything.
Not quite everything, dear. See, God ended up asking himself, who will care for the animals? He took handfuls of earth and shaped a creature who looked like him. He breathed life into him and called him a man. Then he took a rib from the man. With the rib, he created a woman. The man and woman opened their eyes and stared around them in wonder. Slowly they stretched their arms and legs and rose to their feet. They stood in front of God, holding hands, as beautiful and innocent as the new world. God blessed them and called the man Adam and called the woman Eve. "Your job is to look after the wonders I have created," he said. "You will rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and every creature on the earth. You will have fruit to eat and water to drink, and I want you to enjoy your life here." Then came the seventh day. God's work was done. The world was every bit as beautiful as he had imagined, and God rested. Next, God made a beautiful garden for Adam and Eve and named it Eden. There were flowers and trees full of delicious fruit to eat, and velvet soft grass to lie on. A sparkling stream gave Adam and Eve clean water to drink. There was a huge tree in the middle of the garden that was called the Tree of Knowledge. "You can pick fruit from any of the trees in the garden, except for the tree of knowledge," he told Adam and Eve. "If you eat of that fruit, you will surely die." Adam and Eve listened to everything God told them. They had all that they needed, and they were happy. They cared for the animals in the garden, just as God told them. But one day, Eve was picking berries near the tree of knowledge when she heard a rustling in the leaves of the tree. A snake was watching her, his tongue flicking in and out. "Smell the sweet fruit," the snake said. "Try it. Just taste it." "No," Eve replied. "God has told us not to touch the fruit of the tree, or we will surely die." The snake shook his head. "It would make you as wise as God. Just one bite, and you would be a goddess." The snake's words made Eve want to try it. Slowly she plucked the ripe fruit and drew it towards her mouth. It smelled sweet and delicious. Her heart thumped with fear and excitement. Eve could not resist. She took a tiny bite of the fruit. Adam saw, and although he knew it was wrong, he burned with curiosity. Eve handed him the fruit, and he tried it. Smiling, the snake slithered away. God knew at once what Adam and Eve had done. He was so upset and angry. "You must leave Eden," he told them. "From now on, the lives of the mankind will be full of trouble and worry. Now that you have eaten from the tree of knowledge, your bodies will eventually die. But I will find a way to save you." Adam and Eve shivered and wept, and they left Eden behind them. Greed had taken them from the place of gentle breezes to a cruel world where the wind bit and the rain soaked their bodies. But God, who loves his people, gave Adam and Eve something very special. He gave them hope. Perhaps one day, he told them, mankind might yet return to the beautiful Garden of Eden and to the love of God.
We'll try and make more Jesus and God toys, you guys. And one thing, if y'all really want us to do it again, just leave a like and a subscribe.